Hi, my name is Barry Sterling Mitchell. Today is December 23rd, 2015, and this is Ben and Barry on football.
What's going on out there, everybody? This is Ben Dickerson. I am your co-host. Let me get this out of the way right away here. Feeling a whole lot better about my picks last week. Got 10 out of 16, 63%. Back up where I belong. Went with the bias most of the way, but that's okay. That's all right. I won I won the two games I won against the bias. I won those two games. So I'm going to consider that a win. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to consider it a tie since the bias is also 10 out of 16.
I can't,
You
what can I
know,
say?
um, it's funny because generally I kind of root for the team that the bias favors because it's nice to be right. You know what I mean? Even though these
Sure.
aren't like it's not like my opinion, it's just how the numbers added up. But
Yeah, sure.
I support the Sterling net point rankings and the bias plus reports. And so we're at that last game with my Niners playing those Colts. Now I'm at the point of it's my Niners. I can't root against them. I got to root for
That's
my
right.
Niners, and that's going to just knock my numbers down. I might have been like 70% if the Colts had won.
Yeah, but you knew that one was coming. Come on now.
I told you I don't trust the Colts numbers. We all know the Colts they're not the same team. You know, like you said, they don't have
Not at
Danny
all.
Dimes. They're bringing in a 44-year-old guy who actually played pretty well. We'll talk a little bit about that. Well, let me put it this way. If he could complete as many passes as he did, we might be in some real trouble in these next 2 weeks. We really got to do a couple things. We'll talk about that when the time comes. But I have a couple of names that I want to throw out that kind of stuck out to me. As I told you before, my intriguing team is the Chicago Bears. And they're one of two teams, including my Niners, that I could say I believe they, quote, have a run game. It's one thing to have running backs, and have run plays, et cetera, et cetera. But do you have a run game? If you were forced to run the ball, do you have a run game? Other than Chicago and my Niners, Benny, who would you say is a team that has a run game out there right now?
Has a run game
Yeah, has a run
or
game, not just a running
or
back.
or a
And
run
for
game
example,
that
I think I would add maybe the Bills to that list.
a team that their ground game has to be considered when you game plan for them. They can hurt you with their running game.
Oh yeah,
They can run the ball pretty much always when they want to. Is that what you're
yes,
talking about? Okay,
yes,
then I would say the Bill as of right now, I
yes.
would say the Bills because I thought about the Packers, but as of right now, with Josh Jacobs banged up, the Packers are not as good a running team as they were early in the season. Um,
And now that you mentioned that, to say a team has a run game, I would think that they would have to have some depth at running back.
Under normal circumstances, they should have some depth. That's true. I'll tell you, a team that's been pretty steady with their ground attack that probably doesn't get noticed for it, and that's the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay, okay.
Travis Etienne has been chugging along, man. Etienne looks good. He looks good.
Okay.
And they let Tank Bigsby go. He was the backup there. He's now with the Eagles.
Right, right,
Okay.
right.
So Etienne's pretty much carrying the load there.
Okay.
Um, uh, See if we had a pre-production meeting, I would be more prepared for this.
Well, that's
But
okay. That's okay. But,
no,
but
it's better for me to do it off the top of my head. That's
yeah,
good. It
you
keeps
do a
me
lot of
sharp.
good stuff off the top of your head. What about the
Yeah.
Eagles? You think they can be considered to have a run game, quote?
See, every time I talk about the Eagles, I feel like I'm getting myself in trouble, but I try to be as honest as I possibly can. I cannot say they don't have a running game, but over the course of the season, they really haven't. Teams have been shutting their running game down, as I said, before the season started. This is like the 10th time, 12th time I said this. Teams came into the season following the blueprint that the Kansas City Chiefs put out in a losing effort in last season's Super Bowl. Stop the sure thing, which is Saquon Barkley, who will rip you to shreds, and put the pressure on Jalen Hurts to beat you with his arm. Problem with that is he can also beat you with his legs. And the problem with shutting down Saquon Barkley has turned out to be a little easier than people suspected because of injuries to the offensive line. So, no, to me, they don't have a steady, consistent run game. No,
Okay.
they don't.
Okay, that's an interesting perspective. Yeah, I just thought I've been thought about that, and it's that time of year where the team with the run game are really, going to be a little more successful because it's cold, it's nasty, it's all of those things, and a run game really helps. So okay, go
let
ahead.
me say, one of the best during the season, but has lately been challenged severely to the point of them losing some critical games here near the end of the season, was the Detroit Lions.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Sonic and Knuckles was ripping it to shreds.
That's a run game.
And now all of a sudden, teams have kind of figured out Jahmyr Gibbs. So,
Okay, so there are two names that I kind of wanted to just bring out. Number one, I forget his first name. Was it Carl Monangai with Chicago?
Yeah, I think it's Kyle.
Kyle Monangai. Yeah, you got to love that guy. You got to love that guy and that run game that they put down. The other name, Benny, was one that I had to kind of look up a little bit because I wanted to see what was going on. Kenneth Gainwell.
Talk about a change of scenery.
Oh my goodness. I mean, he is tearing it up out there. But when I looked at it, it says here, now this is just a Wikipedia, right? He grew up in Yazoo City, Mississippi, and went to Yazoo County High School. He was a 3-year starter at quarterback.
I didn't know that.
As a senior, he passed for 1,139 yards, 10 touchdowns, and ran for 1,834 yards and 32 touchdowns.
Sheesh.
He went to running back during summer training camp at college. They redshirted.
Where did he go to school?
The Tigers.
Missouri.
Okay. So he was named.
Because I was going to say you had to go pretty deep to get to Yazoo City to find out about this kid that ran for 32 touchdowns. But if you do it, they'll find you. They will find you.
Well, he was named the Tigers starting running back following the departure of one Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard.
The Cowboys.
Oh, Pollard. Yeah. Titans. That's what the Titans know. Okay. Yep.
And he was named the second team All-American by Sporting News, the American Football Association, Coaches Association, National Freshman of the Year by the Football Writers Association, and the Sean Alexander Award.
Nice.
He was selected by the Eagles in the 5th round, 150th overall. So I remember him being with the Eagles. I don't remember him doing a whole bunch with the Eagles. And then all of a sudden he's with the Steelers and he's running like an all-star and had probably the catch of the year. I'll let you talk about that when you get to that game. But I just wanted to kind of give some kudos to both Mr. Kyle Monangai and it's Gainwell. It's like, what happened? He changed scenery and became great, So
yeah, I think their run schemes are a little different between the Steelers and the Eagles. And you would think that if a guy like Barkley can rip off 2,000 plus yards that a guy like Gainwell, who obviously has skills, should be able to do a lot better than he did. But it's funny how certain blocking schemes are more conducive to the type of runner that you are. I mean, he's
Okay.
doing a heck of a lot better with Pittsburgh.
And I'm wondering, with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback coming up to the line of scrimmage and making the adjustments, if that also is helping him.
Well, that's with every quarterback. So that doesn't change the scheme, but the quarterback knows what the scheme is. So he can call the protections and change the plays to fit. You know what I mean? But the blocking schemes for whatever play is called, whether it comes in from the OC or whether it gets changed by the quarterback, is still the scheme. So.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, Benny, it is Christmas week. Football schedule is whack. Let me just give you a quick overview about what we're getting ready to get into here as we go through the season. Number one, Thursday the 25th is Christmas Day. We have 1, 2, 3 games on that day, followed by 1, 2 games on Saturday.
Right.
Okay, then we move into the Sunday slate of games. And let's see here. Sunday night is my Niners against the Bears. I'm really looking at this game. I'm wondering why they didn't flex out Monday Night Football, Rams, Falcons. But lately, we can't count out any team, so it might wind up being a much better game than what we might have thought it would be, just by saying Rams, Falcons. So that's what it looks like. Let's get ready to pull up the information. We have Cowboys at Commanders. Bias plus score 5.5 favors the Cowboys, Benny, which is crazy, but Commanders have really been struggling. Cowboys are ranked 20th in net points. Commanders are 26th. And the Cowboys are just a little bit better on turnover differential. So that's 5.5 favoring the Cowboys, Benny. What do you got?
Well, this game doesn't mean much to the current standings in the division or have any playoff implications, but it is a division game. So it's important to the two teams, obviously. Let's talk about the Commanders first, 4-11. Not a great season for them, especially coming off playing in the NFC Championship game previously, or the last year in 2024. Backup quarterback Marcus Mariota started the game, but he injured his hand, had to go out. That was in the third quarter. At the time he went out of the game, they were up 10-7. Then they had to go to the third string quarterback, who is 39-year-old Josh Johnson. Every freaking year, somehow, some way, we talk about Josh Johnson. This guy has played for 14 different teams over the course of an 18-year career. That is crazy. But anyway, he took over after Mariota went out. But neither he nor the weak Washington defense, who can't stop the run and has very little pass rush to speak of, none of that could stop the Eagles or even slow them down. And the Eagles took them down 29-18. Now, the Cowboys, they've been eliminated from playoff contention for the second year in a row after Philly beat Washington. So it didn't matter if they won their game or not. And the fact that the Eagles did clinch the NFC East title also is what put them out of contention. They lost to the Chargers, however, 34-17, and have now lost 3 games in a row after a 3-game win streak. So 3-game win streak, everybody's talking about, Dallas, here they come. And then they lose 3 in a row. Dak threw 2 first-half touchdown passes, but they never found the end zone again in the rest of that game. So that one ended badly for them, just like the Commanders game ended badly for them. But we do have Dak going against Josh Johnson, it looks like, because somehow Mariota left the game with a hand injury. But what I heard was he's got a quad injury also. So there's a good chance he may not play. They might just go with Josh Johnson. In that case, I got to pick the Cowboys and go with the bias.
All right, going with the bias, going with the Cowboys. So nobody's in contention right there, just with each other. Okay. Lions at Vikings. This would have been a great game, but they're down to their backup. The bias plus score of 12.6, however, favors the Lions, Benny. They're seventh ranked in net points. The Vikings are 18th ranked in net points. There you go. What do you got?
Another division game. Whew, boy, oh boy! I tell you that NFC North looked real brutal, but it's been brutal the other way rather than good games. We got some teams that got themselves pretty beat up here. Vikings, bad luck. JJ McCarthy threw for 108 yards, turned the ball over twice, left the game right before halftime with an injured right hand. The backup we talked about before, last time JJ went out, his name is Max Brosmer, undrafted free agent. He came in and helped the Vikings win the game because they were playing my Giants, who are pretty hapless at the moment. Game was 16-13, kind of a snooze fest. Now, Lions, on the other hand, hosted the Steelers, and a win would have given them a slim chance to possibly find their way into winning the NFC North title. However, they lost a close one in a wild finish. Final score was 29-24. Now they're on the bubble and seriously close to being eliminated. They almost came back from 12 points down with 4 minutes left to play, but they had 2 touchdowns wiped out by penalties in the last minute. Now, personally, I think the very last one, the one they had to talk about so long with the refs before they came up with how they went, I think the problem was the refs knew what happened and they knew how to call it, but they didn't know exactly how to explain it. But the one before that got wiped out, I think was Amon-Ra St. Brown caught a ball for a touchdown. He was wide open, and they said it was a pick play. I did not agree with that. That guy looked like he was running a route, and the guy that was supposed to be covering St. Brown basically just ran into him and stopped. Didn't look like a pick was set to me, so I think they got kind of jobbed there. But that last one was goofy, man. First of all, it was an obvious offensive pass interference to me. Obvious. Push off, full extension of the arms. Next, after he caught the ball, they stopped him from scoring and they stopped his forward motion. But the refs didn't blow the whistle. So then he pitches it to Jared Goff. He runs it in for a touchdown and they put their hands up. And even after they discussed it, I know this is a little referendum on these refs this year, if referendum is the proper word. They took freaking 10 minutes to decide to say on the field it was a touchdown. However, there was no PI. Therefore, because you can only put more time on the clock or run another play after a defensive penalty, offensive penalty, you can't do that. So the game is over. Boom, just like that. So I know the Lions fans was feeling some kind of way, but it turned out to be the right decision. That being said, Lions over the Vikings. I'm going with the bias.
All right, bottom line, what do you got? Lions and
Lions.
Vikings. You're
Yes,
going
sir.
with the bias, going with
Yes.
the Lions. Okay. Broncos at Chiefs. Bias plus score 0.8. 0.8. Less than one favors the Broncos, Benny. Yes. Broncos are ranked 10th. Chiefs are 14th. And the Chiefs have a slight edge in terms of turnover differential, but not enough to completely overcome it. Just kind of trimmed that bias down a little bit. So favoring the Broncos, who you got?
Yeah, that bias is close because the Broncos have kind of been walking the tightrope there. But anyway, last weekend they hosted the Jaguars at Mile High, and the first half of the game was pretty good battle. A lot of back and forth. Denver tied the score at 17 on the first possession of the third quarter. And after that, it was all Jacksonville. Now, Denver didn't exactly crash and burn, but they did turn the ball over twice, and they did get stopped on downs once. And they weren't able to complete their comeback effort, losing the game 34-20. Now, at this point, Denver needs to keep winning to secure the number one seed overall in the AFC, which is the coveted seeding that you want. You want that number one seed overall over your entire conference. And it's right within their grasp, so they have to continue to play well. Now the Chiefs. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Mm-mm-mm.
How long were you waiting to use that line?
Long time. The Chiefs are down to their third string quarterback, Chris Olawadakin. And I practiced that for a little while, so I'd say it right. Chris Ola. Now I can't say it. Oladakin. That's his name. They just signed him up off the practice squad. They lost the game to Tennessee Titans 26-9. So the mighty Kansas City Chiefs are so torn up right now that the last place can barely beat anybody. Tennessee Titans took them apart 26-9.
Wow.
Now, if you listen very, very carefully, you'll hear in the background the entire AFC singing "Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead."
Oh my goodness.
Take the Broncos with the bias.
Taking the Broncos with the bias. Okay. All right. I can see that. Texans at Chargers. Bias plus score of 6.5 favors the Texans. Benny ranked fifth in net points versus the Chargers ranked 13th in net points. And they're up on them in terms of turnover differential too at +1 compared to the Chargers plus 0.2. So 6.5 just under that touchdown and extra point favoring the Texans. What do you got?
Man, I can't wait to see this game.
Yeah, I know.
I can't wait to see this game. Texans 10-5, Chargers 11-4. Now, Justin Herbert and the Chargers have joined the Getting Hot at the Right Time Club. They beat up the Cowboys 34-17, and with the Colts loss on Monday night, they clinched the playoff spot. They still have a shot at winning the AFC West. So yeah, this game is big for them. The Texans won a 23-21 tussle with the Raiders, a little tougher than you would expect them to have to go to beat the Raiders, but nonetheless, they won the game. They extended their winning streak to 7 games. So I'm not going to induct them into the getting hot at the right time. They've been hot 7 games in a row now. They're still in the hunt for a playoff spot, and they're also still in contention for the AFC South division title. Division titles is what you want because along with the division title comes that first round bye. This is going to be this should be a barn burner. It really should. I'll tell you, this is going to be a hard one to pick. Who has the bias? I forgot that quick. The Texans. Texans have the bias. Riding a 7-game win streak, but Chargers are looking really, really good. Chargers are home. Ooh, that Texans defense. Oh, this is a tough one. This is so tough. I'm going to go against the bias, and I'm going to pick the Chargers.
All right, going once, going twice. So you got.
I know I have been changing my mind lately, haven't I? But not this time. I'm going with them.
Going with the Chargers, going against the bias, almost
Yes,
a touchdown bias too.
Yes,
but
sir.
One thing you said, which is true, should be a good game.
Absolutely.
A good game. All right. Ravens at Packers. Bias plus score of 5 favors the Packers. Benny. Ravens are ranked 17th. Packers are ranked 11th. And we don't know yet what Lamar's situation is, or do we?
The last I heard, it's not good. I believe he's got like a back contusion. That's going to be very hard for him to be able to move and maneuver. Although with treatment, there's a possibility that he could play. He said he wants to play. He says he expects to play, but we're going to have to see how his practices go over the next couple of days.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
There we go.
So Ravens are pretty desperate. As a matter of fact, I think they might be done. I'll check my notes. But anyway, let's talk about the Packers. 9-5-1. Oh boy. They were up 16-6 deep into the fourth quarter. This game against the Bears should have been their game. But they let the Bears crawl back into the game and push them to overtime. Now, during the game, Jordan Love got injured. I believe he's in concussion protocol at the moment. So they had to come with Malik Willis. And I sent you a text. I don't know if you saw it or not. You taking a look at Malik Willis, man? That guy, when he was with the Titans, I don't want to say he was fat, okay? But he didn't look like he was in real good shape, man. He looks tremendous right now. And he played really, really well. Unfortunately, in the overtime, on a 4th and 1, he fumbled the snap. The Bears got it back. And Caleb Williams threw a bomb. Bing, bang, bong. Before you know it, the game is over. Now, the Packers are still in the hunt for a playoff spot. They have not clinched, but their prospects look pretty good considering how many spots are left and what's going on in the other divisions. But they're going to have to play well. They're going to have to still win games. I don't think they're going to be able to back in. That does happen sometimes, but like I said, their prospects look pretty good. Now, the Ravens had 2 major issues in their home loss to the Patriots. The number one issue was they lost Lamar Jackson to a back injury. He caught a knee getting tackled. That happened in the second quarter. And the number 2 concern for them was with 12:50, almost an entire quarter left in the game, Derrick Henry never touched the ball again. What is going on? Anyway.
In the run games. And let me mention real quick before we move on from Chicago, because you said he threw a bomb.
Yeah.
That was, I believe, 56 yards in the air.
Yeah, because he caught it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It went down as a 46-yard pass.
Right, but he was.
But where he caught it in the end zone. Yep.
Crazy, 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 and it just takes me to the question that they asked him in the press conference that week before about his ability to make some of those plays, and he just looked down straight faced, and said, "I can make any throw."
Gotta love this guy, man.
I'm telling you.
You gotta love Caleb Williams right now. And I know we were kind of questioning him being worthy of being a number 1 pick overall when he got drafted. And I clowned him about painting his fingernails and all that stuff. But this dude is getting it done right now. He's getting it done.
Capability. Yeah.
Yeah. On one of my lists that I looked up for so I could be clear on the designations I wanted to give teams as far as whether they clinched or they were still in the hunt or in the bubble or eliminated, I think they had the Ravens still on the bubble. There's a possibility they're not totally mathematically out of it. But as far as I'm concerned, when the Steelers beat the Browns, that should have eliminated them for playoff contention. So I'm going to consider the Ravens eliminated. With them being eliminated and with Lamar being questionable, me personally, I wouldn't play him. Not with a back contusion anyway. I'm going to go with the bias and go with the Packers.
All righty then. Going with the bias, going with the Packers. Next up. I'm going to say Buccaneers. Buccaneers. Buccaneers at Dolphins by a split score 4.7 favors the Bucks. Benny, 19th ranked net points versus 22nd ranked net points. Both of them are in the negative, but the Buccaneers are positive on turnover differential. So what do you got on this?
Well, let's talk about the Dolphins first. They're going to be at home. The Bucks, oh, they can drive to Miami. Anyway, they'll probably get a bus. Anyway, the Dolphins got splattered by Cincinnati last week, 45-21. They started Quinn Ewers, the rookie quarterback. He was 20 of 30 for 260, which wasn't terrible, but he did throw 2 interceptions against one of the worst defenses in the league. So if Quinn Ewers is the quarterback of the future for the Dolphins, especially now since they clearly are disenchanted with Tua, he's going to have to get a little bit better, but he's got a long career ahead of him, hopefully. Now, the Buccaneers have been struggling. Their loss to Carolina was their 3rd in a row, and they're on the bubble. Not good. But they still have a shot at the NFC South title and the postseason. So even though they're on the bubble, everything could switch up to the positive for them if they win their next 2 games. They got to beat the Dolphins, and then in week 18, they get a rematch with the Panthers. So their destiny is in their own hands. They don't have anybody else to depend on but themselves. I believe they will beat the Dolphins and keep things going and take it down to the wire to that last game in week 18. So I'm going with the bias and the Bucks.
Oh, okay. Pretty definitive there. Going with the bias. Going with the Buccaneers over those Dolphins. All right. Next up. Seahawks at Panthers. By a split score of 13 favors the Seahawks, Benny. Ranked 1st in net points. Panthers are 21st. But that Bryce Young, one day he plays like an all-star, man. Maybe the next day he don't, but you don't know which day it's going to be with him. What do you got?
Oh, I'm loving Bryce Young right now, I'll tell you the truth. But anyway, of course, before the Bucks, who we just talked about, can get themselves into the postseason, assuming that they beat the Dolphins, which I believe they will, they'll have to shake off last week's loss to the Carolina Panthers and then beat them in week 18. Bryce Young looked damn good, throwing 2 touchdowns against Tampa and breaking off some key runs. No, he's not too small, man. This guy is getting it done. And when you get it done, I don't care if you're 3 feet tall. He's getting it done. He's completing passes. He's scoring touchdowns. He's running when he needs to, and he knows how to get down. And he knows how to get out of bounds. So that's great. And he did it all with 0 turnovers and won the game 23-20 against a pretty tough Tampa defense that hasn't been at their best, but they're still a tough defense. Now, the Seahawks. I did pick the Rams to beat the Seahawks on Thursday night. I did believe that the Rams had the better quarterback in Matt Stafford, and I did believe that the Rams had the better running game, which turned out to not be right that particular night.
Yeah.
But what I didn't do was I never doubted the skill set or the leadership of Sam Darnold, like some other people did. Yeah, he threw 4 interceptions to the Rams back in November, and he threw them 2 more in this last game. But he also threw for 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, and converted 3 critical 2-point conversions. One of them was luck. That was the one with that backward pass that got batted, and Zach Charbonnet just happened to casually pick the ball up in the end zone, and they gave him the 2 points. The other 2 were earned. And the last one won the freaking game in overtime. That's clutch. Stop messing with my man Sam Darnold. He's playing way better than a lot of big-name quarterbacks are right now and has been for a minute. That win allowed them to take over first place in the NFC West, and now they will try to clinch the division title. But the Rams are not done yet, and neither are the Niners. So the Seahawks really, really, really need this game. But the Panthers need it also because they got to hold off Tampa Bay. Big game. Oh, man, this is a big game. Carolina's at home. I know you're hoping for the Panthers to win.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Why? Because
A
I'm not.
Seahawks loss increases the Niners' chances.
Oh yeah, okay, all right, that's true.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Um Panthers are home.
Panthers
Nah,
are home.
I think they're gonna get after Bryce,
Wait a
man.
second, is this 4 o'clock game? I'm just wondering because don't the Seahawks have to travel?
That yes, they travel farther than every other team. That is true. But I
This
think I'm kind of thinking that's a 4 o'clock game because it's
this
low on the list.
is a 1 o'clock game.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Far northwest team traveling to the very east coast. Oh man.
I just
Gee.
just try to give you some additional information to screw up
Thank you. I appreciate that.
your prediction. Woo.
I can't turn my back on Sam now. I can't. And they seem to have gotten their running game revved up a little bit too. Zach Charbonnet and Kenny Walker are a nice little 1-2 punch talking about running games.
I know you always, chide me a bit about some of my disbelief in Sam Darnold. But I don't have a complete disbelief because I remember last week when we were talking about how he had moved from team to team, and I kind of brought up the fact that he was with my Niners, and you said he really didn't play, but he did play a little bit, and I've felt that he benefited from his time with the Niners, and I wondered before he left whether or not he was as good as Purdy, and whether maybe because he was bigger and stronger, he might have been a better choice than Purdy.
You wondered that when he was with the Niners?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. I did.
Last week I wasn't sure, but I said something about him going from the Vikings to the Seahawks, and you said didn't he go to the Niners before that?
Right. That's what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
I don't think that's what happened.
Yes, it was. He was with the Niners.
I don't think so. He was at Carolina. He was 8-9. He was 1-0 with the Niners. He was 14-3
Wait,
with the
hold. He
Vikings.
was 1-0 with the Niners.
1-0 with
Well, I
the
didn't say he played a
Niners.
lot, but I'm saying I thought
I
that he
didn't say
benefited from his time with the Niners.
he got a chance to start one game and he won the game.
Yeah, well, I just felt like the coaching, being with Shanahan, being in that system, I thought he
Oh no, I
benefited.
don't doubt that at all. I agree with you
Okay.
about that.
Oh, okay. All right.
But this talk about being better than Purdy, he didn't even show enough to be able for you to think that.
I said I wondered about it because I saw some improvement in him and with his size and the differential. But okay,
Me personally, I didn't see the real improvement until he got to Minnesota. 14-3. Then he comes to Seattle. Right now he's 12-3. That's a 35-15 record through 4 different teams and coaching staffs. What's not to believe in? Besides the fact that he's yet to win a playoff game.
Well, that's the main thing. And I
There's a whole bunch of guys like that.
Well, we're not talking about a bunch of guys. We're talking about
With
Sam
lesser records.
Talk about Sam Darnold. I mean,
Yeah, who has a better record over the last 4 years with 4 different coaching staffs than some of these other guys have with the same team over that same 4 years.
all he's got to do is win the playoff game in order to
But
break.
what do them other guys got to do?
I'm not talking about those other guys. I could care less about those other guys.
Okay, all right, I got you.
Talking about Sam Darnold,
I got
NFC
you.
West.
I got you. Okay,
But
so I tell you what,
I'm going
to stick with Sam, and I'm going to go with the Seahawks. Yes, sir.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Next up, Cardinals at Bengals. Bias plus score of 0.8 favors the Cardinals. Benny, what do you got?
This game means absolutely nothing to anybody except except maybe for Joe Burrow.
What did they say in the fantasy? This helps no one.
This helps no one. Exactly. I like that segment. This game helps absolutely no one. just when I thought Cincinnati was about to mail it in, because I believe I picked the Cardinals to win this game, they went crazy on Miami and beat them 45. No, I'm sorry, I didn't pick the Cardinals are just now getting ready to play. They played Miami. I picked Miami to win the game, and the Bengals went nuts on them 45-21. So much for mailing it in. The Cardinals probably should have leaned on their running game a little bit more because it kind of was cooking. But regardless, they couldn't find the end zone, and doesn't matter how good your run game is if you can't put points on the board. And they got very little help from the defense. And one of them spoiler teams, Atlanta, actually took them out. So at this point, I got to go with the Bengals. I got to go with the Bengals. Joe Burrow seems to have convinced them guys that they got it's worth still playing hard. So it looks like they're going to do it. I'm going against the bias and go with the Bengals.
All right. Going against the bias, go with the Bengals. It's a small, less than 1 point differential between the two teams. So that, could go either way for sure. For sure. Okay. Next up, Benny. Steelers at Browns. Division title. 12.2 bias score favors the Steelers. Here comes Myles Garrett, Aaron Duck.
Jeez.
Going for the record.
Well, now he did say he wanted to break the record at home. They are at home, and he did say he wanted to get the record on a top flight quarterback. So here comes Aaron Rodgers. So I'm wondering if we might get a little replay of the Strahan.
Yeah.
Remember that? Brett Favre, John.
Brett Favre kind of went down a little easy there, didn't he?
Especially since, Aaron Rodgers hates to be touched. So if the sack looks inevitable and he crumbles and goes down, don't be surprised. But anyway, was another low production game through the air for Shador. He ended up being the Browns' leading rusher, crazy as that sounds, because he's not really a dual threat quarterback, if you ask me. But he got so little help from his running backs. Quinshon Judkins did get injured, but all the other running backs that played in the game couldn't outrush Shador, who was basically running for his life. And we won't even talk about the Browns defense other than Myles Garrett. There's not much to talk about. They're just that bad. The Steelers, on the other hand, held on for a big 29-24 win over the Lions. And let's face it, if the Pittsburgh Steelers are able to outscore the Detroit Lions, regardless of the Lions' offensive woes this year as compared to last year, I don't even care about that. If the Steelers can outscore them, then they deserve that win, and they did. They're still in the hunt for one of the last two playoff spots left in the AFC, and they'll need to secure the division title to get it. So whoever wins the NFC North will be the only team in that division to make the playoffs. There's only two playoff spots left. I'm definitely, without a doubt, going with the Steelers and the bias in this game.
All right. Going with the Steelers, going with the bias. Will Myles Garrett break the record, Benny?
I think he will.
All right. It sounds like
I think he will.
He
only needs one, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. He might only need a half because that was part of the thing. He got a half in that last game.
Yeah, I think he got two halves in that last game, and I think he needed one. Yeah, he might only need a half a sack.
Yeah.
Either way, he's got to touch Aaron Rodgers on the ground some kind of way.
There you go. There you go. All righty. All righty. Next up, Jaguars at Colts by a split score 4.8 favors the Jaguars, Benny, and I think it could have been a little bit bigger than that. They're ranked fourth place. Colts are ninth place in sliding. What do you got? Oh, Benny, let me say, they had a little video shot of Anthony Richardson. Looked like he cut his hair and everything. Looked like a whole different guy.
Yeah, well, it's a wonder anybody recognizing me. You've seen him in so long.
Yeah.
So, I just hope the guy gets well and he can compete, try to play either with them or somebody else. Because it's a shame, a talent like he's like a Cam Newton clone. I wanted to see him play, you know. I still want to see him get a chance to play somewhere with somebody. So we'll keep our fingers crossed for next season. The first quarter of the game between the Colts and the 49ers was pretty interesting, especially with some things that were going on with Phillip Rivers, who at one point had the score tied 14-14. Um, let's see, what's up with the Colts? They're on the bubble, so they still got a little teeny bit of life, but I don't know if they're going to be able to hang on. A lot of things going against them. It's kind of crazy if they don't make the postseason, especially after an 8-2 start, but such is life in the NFL. Now, another charter member of the Getting Hot at the Right Time Club, the Jaguars slugged their way past Denver in Mile High Stadium and stopped the Broncos' 11-game win streak. 11-game win streak. They shut it down. Obviously, they clinched a playoff spot, but they still have the Texans to contend with for the division title. So they got a lot to play for. They really need this game. The Colts, like I said, hanging on by the slimmest of margins, and things haven't looked very good. I tell you the truth, man. Philip Rivers still has it up here, but his arm's like a noodle, man. He can't throw no more. I got to go with the Jaguars, and that would be with the bias.
Going with the bias, going with the Jaguars. And I had said on my personal page is nobody's talking about the Phil Rivers throwing style, that shot put looking thing that he used to do.
Well, it looked funny, but it got the job done
It did.
because he
It
had
did.
arm strength, but
Yeah.
he ain't got arm strength anymore.
Well, he had the one long pass that fell a little short. He might have had a touchdown on that thing.
That's all he had.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
it.
But it was a classic a show of short passing acumen though. He was getting some of those short passes out. And with my Niners not really putting enough pressure on him until later in the game, early on, he looked pretty decent.
The
So
first quarter of the game, up until the point, I don't know when it was 14-14, if that was still the first quarter or was into the second quarter, he was calling the plays on the field at the line of scrimmage. He audible every freaking play.
okay.
Changed the protections, changed everything,
Changed
and was
everything.
successful. The score was 14-14. And
Yeah.
again, I mean, you don't look at your text during the game. I'll be texting away, man. I text you, I was like, Philip Rivers is out coaching.
I
What's his
saw that text. I saw that text.
yeah. And he was. He was, but
Yeah.
I mean, when you can't throw, it doesn't do you any good. So
All right, going with the bias, going with the Jaguars. Next up, Patriots at Jets, Jets, the only team I had any family that played for. Ooh, look at that bias, 21.7 favoring the Patriots, Benny.
yep, well deserved bias.
For sure.
Jets season is a disaster. They got totally outplayed by the lowly New Orleans Saints. Nothing else really to talk about when it comes to the Jets. The Patriots rebounded from their loss to Buffalo the week before, and they beat the Ravens in Baltimore to clinch their spot in the playoffs. Now, the fight with Buffalo for the AFC East title continues, and it's going to go down to the wire. New England has a lot to play for. The Jets have nothing to play for, easily taking the Patriots and with the bias.
Taking the Patriots, going with the bias. Okay, next up. Saints at Titans, Benny. Bias plus score of 0.1. Favors the Saints over the Titans.
This is going to be a good game.
I know.
This is going to be a game.
I believe you. I believe you.
This is
Number
going to be
one,
a game.
Tyler Shook has improved. Every time I watched him, he's playing a little bit better, a little bit better. And of course, the Titans, Cam Ward, I mean, he's shown that he was, not that number one status. He's just on a really bad team. So, but
Yeah, I have a lot of faith in Cam Ward that he's going to turn things around if they're able to turn things around on that team a little bit. That he'll be the guy, hopefully, that'll be around long enough to really still be there when Tennessee gets good again.
right.
And hopefully it doesn't take that long. The Saints had a real nice win, and they've had a couple of real nice wins in a row. And the Titans, wow, big team win for the Titans. Number one, because it was over the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that they would normally have absolutely, positively no chance of beating. Also, they broke their 11-game home losing streak. That's huge for the team and for the fans. And they're going to be home for this one too. So maybe they can build off of that and make this a really tough game. Now, the Saints, they've won their third straight game. That win was over the Jets, though, but it was their third straight game. Another big team win. Two teams going nowhere. Whew. Titans got the monkey off their backs for winning a home game, but I think that's as far as they're going to go. I got to go with the Saints on this one.
Oh, with the Saints. Interesting. Interesting. All right. Going with the bias, going with the Saints. Who do we have next, Benny? Who do we have next?
Oh, God. Talk about two teams going nowhere.
Giants at Raiders. Bias plus score of 4.7. Benny favors your New York Football Giants.
Okay, so let's put this in perspective. I just got finished talking about the Saints and the Titans, and the Titans' woes and losing 11 straight home games, blah blah blah. But Titans are 3-12. The Giants and the Raiders are both 2-13. This is as bad as it gets, folks. These two teams are actually fighting for something, though, and that something is the number one pick overall in the 2026 draft. I'm afraid. I'm afraid that both these teams are going to spend the entire day trying to figure out a way to put on a show and still lose.
How to tank and look good while you're doing
This
it,
is
eh?
how to tank and look good doing it. The Giants lost to the Vikings. That was their ninth loss in a row. Puts them in position for their number one pick overall. Here's this Raiders game was kind of crazy though. They played hard. The Texans weren't at their best, obviously, but they still had enough to hand the Raiders their ninth loss in a row, also, um, which puts them in position for the number one pick overall too. So it's just kind of crazy that fate would have it that the two worst teams in the league would meet each other at the end of the season to try and determine who will get the number one pick overall. I last week I said I didn't care if they got the first pick or not, but actually I do care. My thinking was if they decide that Jackson Dart is their quarterback, then you don't really want to tank for the number one pick overall unless you're trying to get the best player in the draft who normally would be a quarterback. But there's a lot of other stuff that goes with it. If in fact they do get that pick and they trade it, they have so many holes that need to be fixed that can possibly be fixed if they trade that number one pick overall. So I want them to get it. However, of these two teams, I believe the Giants are the better team. I think the Giants are going to win this game.
Oh my goodness. And this is a football decision, not a from the heart decision.
Right.
Oh, I'm proud of you, Benny. Okay, going with the bias, going with the Giants. There we go. There we go. Next up. Ooh, Benny. Eagles at Bills. Bias plus score of 1.2. 1.2, Benny. Favors the Bills.
Hmm.
Eagles are ranked 12th in net points. Bills are ranked 6th. So that kind of says it right there. But, they're not that far off. I mean, even at 6, Bills are +6 net points. Eagles are +4. And it trimmed down a little bit more because the Eagles are a little bit better on turnover differential. So just kept trimming it
Okay.
down to 1.2. So I'm looking forward to this one, Benny. What do you got?
Well, let's look at the Bills. They will be at home. Josh Allen didn't have to be real special in their Bills game against the Browns. James Cook and the defense did most of the heavy lifting for them, and they won the game 23-20. The Eagles handled their business in beating the Commanders 29-18. Excuse me. Repeating as NFC East champs, which hadn't been done in the last 20 years. And if I'm not mistaken, the last time it happened was also the Eagles back when Donovan McNabb was the quarterback. So we'll have to look that up to be sure. But if my memory serves me correctly, the last time there was a back-to-back champ in the NFC East, it was the Philadelphia Eagles with Donovan McNabb at the helm and probably Andy Reid quarterback, head coaching. Now, all that being said, I still don't trust the Bills defense. Whew. But man, James Cook is on fire. Eagles defense is playing really, really well. If they have a weakness, though, I would say it's kind of against the run. Eagles already clinched. But you know
That's
what?
a, that's a division and a playoff spot.
Yes. But I think the Eagles have an outside shot. I got to go back and look at the numbers of getting the overall number one seed in the NFC. So if in fact that is possible, I believe they will go all out in this game and next week. So not saying that the Bills aren't going to go all out, but yeah, I'm gonna go against the bias, and I'm gonna go with the Eagles in this one.
All right. All right. Well, it should be a good game. I mean, you got two quarterbacks who can run. One is Superman, and the other is, will run when he has to. And that would be Hurts. So I'm really looking forward to this. And this is a 4 o'clock game on Sunday, Benny.
Yep.
This kind of wraps up the 4 o'clock slate. And then we move to Sunday night football. Bears are coming up to Levi's Stadium to visit my beloved 49ers with a bias plus score of 4.2, Benny favoring the Bears. And again, I say to all the people who know I'm a Niners fan and know I do the bias plus reports and the Sterling net point power rankings, favoritism is not included in the numbers. The numbers are what they are. So no matter how much I love my Niners, I got to go with the numbers. I got to say what they are. So 4.2 favors the Bears. Benny, what do you got?
Wow, those Bears are something else, man. First of all, both teams are 11-4. The Niners will be at home, obviously. I'm really next week. I'm going to have my nominations for the end of the season awards. I did it at the midseason. It's a heck of a lot different. I didn't mention Ben Johnson as a coach of the year candidate back in midseason, but I sure am looking at him as a coach of the year candidate right now. What he has done with Caleb Williams and the Bears offense in his first year there as a head coach and offensive, well, he's not the offensive coordinator, but I'm pretty sure he's doing a lot of the play calling. It's just been amazing. The turnaround over 1 year with this team is tremendous. Caleb Williams brought the Bears back from 10 points down and threw a 46-yard bomb, which, as you said, probably traveled 56 yards in the air to DJ Moore. Shout out DJ Moore, Imhotep High School, on a 1st and 10 in overtime for the 22-16 win over the Packers. big win. When they got the first down, and I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be a nice drive. They're going to win this game. And 1st and 10, he drops back and uncorks. I'm like, what the? And he hit it. Beautiful pass. Beautiful. He's dangerous, man. He is dangerous. Now, the last member of the Getting Hot at the Right Time Club, those San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy put on a show in the game against the Colts. Super efficient. 25 of 34, 295 yards, 5 touchdowns through the air. Unbelievable. But what else is unbelievable is Christian McCaffrey, guy who couldn't stay healthy, now looks indestructible. He had 27 touches for 146 yards. This guy's half the size of Derrick Henry and carries twice as much of a workload. Unbelievable. And he had 2 touchdowns. And George Kittle was on his way to a really, really good game. I think he had like 8 or 9 catches for 100-something yards, but he twisted his ankle. I don't think it's real bad, but he did leave the game. I didn't think any division would have 3 teams make the playoffs, but I was wrong. The NFC West has done just that, and the division title is still up in the air. So these teams still have something to play for. But yes, the Seahawks, the Rams, and the Niners have all clinched playoff spots. Now, all that being said, going against the bias, going with the 49ers.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Going against the bias, 4.2. Bias score favoring those Bears, Benny. All right. I'll be rooting for my Niners, even though I normally root for the bias plus favorite team. So, all right. Next up, we have, I do believe, and I always say, what's better than Sunday Night Football? And you say sometimes.
Sometimes Monday night.
Monday night. Who we got? Rams at Falcons, Benny. Bias plus score of 16.8 favors those Rams over those Falcons. They're ranked 2nd. The Falcons are ranked 23rd. So nice spread there between the two.
Yeah, I don't think it's too late for them to flex this game. They could still do it. But and if they do, I won't be surprised. But I tell you, Falcons are a dangerous team. They are a very dangerous team. They're in the spoiler club right now. So this could turn out to be an interesting game. They are at home in Atlanta, so you got nice dome stadium and all that stuff. The Rams lost to Seattle last week 38-37 in an overtime game that saw Matt Stafford lead them to a 16-point lead and throw for a whopping 457 yards, man. He threw for 457 yards. Unfortunately, he only threw for 3 touchdowns. And the running game was a little above average, not as good as some people would have hoped. Now, at this point, the Rams have to dig in and slug it out with the Seahawks and the Niners to try to get the NFC West title and the first round bye that comes with it. So that's going to be tough. Kirk Cousins, Bijan Robinson, and the all of a sudden stud tight end, Kyle Pitts, shout out Kyle Pitts, St. Joe's Prep, have led the Falcons to wins in 3 of their last 5 and 2 straight on the road. Dangerous after their win over the Cardinals. Scary, scary spoiler vibes coming out of Atlanta. But 457 yards. I got to go with the Rams. That's crazy. That's crazy.
All I can say, Benny, is holy Puka Nakua.
Oh, unbelievable.
All right. Going with the bias. Going with the Rams.
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, we never really said happy holidays to all of our viewers. I tried to have a little festive look to our presentation here.
Yeah,
So,
it's nice. You got the little snowflakes and stuff.
thank you, thank you, thank you. It held up production, but we got it done. But long story short, Benny, yeah, happy holidays. My girl on Good Morning Football had the shirt that I like best. It said, happy, was it? Happy Festivus to the rest of us.
Yeah. Festivus. That's Seinfeld, right?
Seinfeld, Kramer, yeah. Happy Festivus to the rest of us. Well, Benny, once we wrap up the weekend of football, there is one piece of business that we always look forward to taking advantage of or bringing to the people, because what it says is this: we celebrate those teams who overcome the bias and win at the largest margin. And in this particular case, that team that won at the largest margin, a margin of 34.2 points, the
Yeah.
Titans, Benny.
Yeah.
Cam
Get him,
Ward.
Cam. Get him, Cam.
Cam Ward, yeah, baby. I mean,
Over the Kansas City Chiefs. Ding dong, the witch is dead.
look, they were bias plus non-favorites by 17, and then they scored like 17 and a half, or it's vice versa. But long story short, 34.2, way ahead of everybody else, Benny. Congratulations to those Tennessee Titans.
Nice.
All right, that was a full session there, Benny. I'm ready to wrap this up. You have any final comments?
Do I have any final comments? Something I wanted to mention, and this probably nobody cares about this, but I was thinking about coaching trees. And you know how Bill Walsh has a big coaching tree, and Belichick has a coaching tree that's not necessarily as successful as some others. Um, there's been some other coaches that have cultivated guys who are now head coaches. I want to give a shout out to Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles has begun a nice little coaching tree. Right now, two of his ex offensive coordinators are Dave Canales of the Carolina Panthers, fighting for a division title, and Liam Cohen, head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars,
Duval.
one of the hottest teams going right now.
Duval.
Yeah, Duval.
We wondered about him. We're like, ooh.
It's like that dude looks like a cartoon character, man. But anyway, yeah, those guys are now head coaches and are very successful at the moment. They both coached under Todd Bowles. So
All right.
credit to him for turning them out. Good job.
Good job. Good job. All right. Well, that wraps up Ben and Barry on football. If you're on YouTube, please click the notification or ring the notification bell and click the subscriber button. You can reach us at www.benandbarryonfootball.com. All right, Benny, that's it for me.
That's all I got.
All I got. Peace.
Enjoy the games.
There you go. Happy holidays.